I want you to listen to this jerk. I almost cussed. Thankfully, I didn't. Tom Cole, Republican, Oklahoma. I think he used to run the Republican Party, Oklahoma. Oklahoma, a solid state, a conservative state, and here we have a Quisling, and not the first time from this jerk. Tom Cole, cut 3, hat tip, real clear politics. Go.
It seems to me there's appropriate ways to deal with the law, but shutting down the government to get your way over an unrelated piece of legislation is the political equivalent of throwing a temper tantrum. It's just not helpful.
Stop. By the way, this is a Boehner lieutenant. Now, unrelated piece of legislation. We're talking about funding Obamacare with a continuing resolution that funds the entire government. How in any conceivable way is that unrelated? And how is it a temper tantrum? Why is it, damn it, that when our guys try to limit the size of government, that when our guys try to cut spending, that when our guys stand up for the American people who don't want Obamacare, that it's a temper tantrum, you jerk? Go ahead.
It's the sort of thing that could create a backlash that could cost the Republicans the majority in the House.
Stop. I just went through the history of what happened in 1995, and this knucklehead has no sense of history when it came to shutting down the government in 1995. Furthermore, it would be Harry Reid, it would be Pelosi, it would be Obama who are shutting down the government because, as Lee and the others have said, they will support funding the other parts of the federal government, just not this part. But, ladies and gentlemen, how can you win the day? How can you even win the PR argument when you have jerks like Tom Cole and Richard Burr and all the rest of them publicly undermining any effort to rein in Obamacare? Go ahead.
After all, the last line of defense against the president and could materially undercut.
That's enough. This guy is an absolute jackass, this Tom Cole. That's right, pal. You're welcome to call the program, Your Honor, if you'd like to. Same with the other jerk, Burr, Your Honor. You can call too. Oh, Mark. Mark, you're so disrespectful. You're damn right I am. Obamacare is a disaster in every conceivable way. It's a disaster for your health care. It's a disaster for your family. It is undermining the Constitution. It's going to destroy what's left of fiscal responsibility in this country. It was pushed through illegitimately in the Senate and the House, signed quickly by the president. In an outrageous Supreme Court decision, it was upheld. Who the hell's throwing a temper tantrum around here but the Democrats in Congress, the president, and the Supreme Court? And we have this schmuck. You know, I often wonder if you're in a foxhole, would you want these people, would you want a guy like Burr or Cole in the foxhole with you? The Democrats, I said before, give them their due. Lockstep, goose step. They don't give an inch. They have discipline. The Republicans, the only discipline they have is when they're attacking conservatives. But this fool Cole and this fool Burr, they're not alone. And folks, I don't care if they're elected. This is one of the biggest issues of our time. I don't care if they're elected, this clown Burr and this clown Cole. I hope they're primaried. I hope they're primaried. But behind the scenes, once again, the man from Kentucky. Notice he's not out there leading again. He's the Republican leader. You notice? Where is Mitch McConnell? It's awfully quiet these days. Over at Red State, Erickson says Mike Lee has begun this legislative fight to defund Obamacare. He has a letter out calling on leadership to join him in the fight, and others are signing his letter. At the same time, the Speaker's office in the House of Representatives pushed out 2 stories that Americans are increasingly souring on Obamacare and Democrats are starting to turn on it. Good. But earlier, Mitch McConnell suggested the Republicans would not tie defunding Obamacare to funding the government for the rest of the year. In fact, when asked about it point blank, here's what McConnell said, quote, I think our main goal going into the year-end discussions is to not walk away from the bipartisan agreement we made 2 years ago to reduce spending. That unfortunately had to be done by the sequester, but the sequester is the law. My view is that we should do what we promised 2 years ago, and that will be my goal going into the final discussion. So he will risk everything, no he won't, but pretend to on continuing the sequester. Now, ladies and gentlemen, First of all, politically, 90% of the American people don't know what a sequester is. But more importantly, if you defund Obamacare, you'll cut monies that are far beyond what you cut when you implement the sequester. Furthermore, you won't be slashing the military. And most of all, you'll be dealing directly with Obamacare, which is a political winner, by the way. It's a political winner. The people don't like it. The unions don't like it. Senior citizens don't like it. More and more people despise it. And we cannot seem to get on the right side of this issue with McConnell and Boehner. Senate sources, according to Erickson, tell him that since McConnell made this statement, several legislators have been scrambling to get Senator Mike Lee to take his name off his own letter. Where Erickson is wrong in this piece is he says that Boehner views this as a winning position. No, he doesn't, as I will demonstrate shortly. Now, seems to me, folks, if you have a Republican senator in your state and they don't support this effort by Mike Lee, then they support Obamacare. They can dance all they want. They can sing all they want. But the rubber's hitting the road on September 30th on the continuing resolution. And ladies and gentlemen, not to pat myself on the back, but I've said from day one, these phony votes on repealing Obamacare are meaningless. You've got to do it financially. You've got to hit the funding mechanism. It's the only way. Moderate Democrats are retreating from Obamacare, according to the Washington Post. Hospitals are retreating, writes Erickson, from Obamacare. Americans broadly doubt Obamacare will help them. Consumers in most states won't see reductions in premiums for their health care. Contrarily, they'll see increases. In fact, there are 27 ways in which Obamacare increased the cost of your health care. In the meantime, Obamacare is costing jobs in Ohio and other states. The restaurant industry is reducing hours of employees and cutting full-time workers. On and on and on. It's an abomination. It's a disaster. The people know it is. They haven't supported it from day one. They didn't support it in concept. They don't support it in reality. And we cannot seem to get on the right side of this issue because of McConnell and Boehner. And so the Young Turks, the constitutionalists, the conservatives are trying to drag them into the right direction. And what happens? Now they're organizing against them. So they put out jerks like Richard Burr, a backbencher from North Carolina. This is the dumbest idea ever, says Mr. Einstein. Tom Cole, lapdog for Boehner, doofus. There's a temper tantrum. Right.